Okay friends, so fine. Today we have all gathered here to learn Introduction to Big Data and Hadoop. This webinar is being conducted by Nixus Technologies. So let's see first what is today's agenda. Basically we are going to see Introduction to Nixus Technologies, Hadoop and Big Data Expert Course, what is Big Data, conventional approaches and problems, what is Hadoop, HDFS and MapReduce, Hadoop use cases, Hadoop ecosystem, what are the careers in Hadoop, and then all your questions will be taken at the end. So let me introduce firstly myself. I am Radhika, founder and CEO of Nixus Technologies. So about Nixus Technologies. Nixus Technologies is an emerging training institute where our mission is to provide guidance and training on latest evolving technologies. Friends, you are going to learn here latest technologies like Hadoop and Big Data. We have trainers who are having more than 15 years of professional experience and more than 4 years of training experience. So basically, you'll be learning from highly experienced candidates, highly trained professionals who will be sharing their knowledge and their experience with you guys. We provide online training in big data so that you can learn anytime and from anywhere as per your convenience. Now you need not travel to any place for learning big data and Hadoop. We'll be coming to your home, we'll be providing you online training and you can directly learn from there. Since last 1 year, we have trained hundreds of aspirants in big data and Hadoop with almost 100% satisfaction. The satisfaction we have calculated on the basis of feedbacks which we have received from the candidates who have joined the training. We have taken this satisfaction criteria on the basis of their performance, their learnings, their assignments, workshops which are being given to them, the projects how they are performing, POCs, and on the and overall considering all these facts, we have considered this satisfaction. So why you should choose us? Basically, the training is a very interactive training which will be taken through GoToMeeting. Guys, today we have muted you all because of large number of candidates. Okay, but this will not be the case in actual training. You can chat, you can speak, you can directly interact with the trainer and discuss your queries and issues. Complete environment of classroom learning while you can be at home. You will be getting complete environment of classroom training. Our mission is to provide individual attention to all basically. So we keep the maximum batch size of 8 to 10 students. There will be more of practical sessions than theoretical. The trainer will be assisting you in resume and interview preparation. Regular study material, assignments, and workshops will help you in better learning. You will be undergoing POCs and live project during your training. So let us now see Hadoop and Big Data Expert course. This is a fundamental course in Hadoop and Big Data for all those who are looking to start their careers in Big Data. You will be learning Hadoop ecosystem from basics to hands-on. You will be working on POCs and a live project during the course, which will provide you more of practical knowledge which is required by the employers these days. Theories you can learn from books also, but what will be providing you is the practical knowledge, the practical experience which you will be gaining, which will help you in better employment. You can discuss with fellow batchmates and faculty on your queries through discussion forum. Friends, we have discussion forum on our website. The access to this forum will be provided to those candidates who will be joining the training. They can post their queries, they can revert to other questions, and they can also view their answers. So basically you can share your knowledge and experience there as well. The course will also prepare you for the certifications and interview in Hadoop. So let's see the course details. As I told you, the training will be highly interactive. You can interact with instructors through voice, video and chat. Overall training is of 36 hours. There will be 36 teaching hours which will be taken over 6 weekends if you join weekend class or 5 weeks if you join weekday classes. So let's see the batch timing. We are starting 2 new batches in recently. One will be a weekday batch which will be taken from Monday to Friday every day, every night 9:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. IST. The class is starting from 16th June and the fees is 20,000 rupees. Next batch is starting for weekend only, which will be taken on every Saturday, Sunday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon IST. The fees will be 16,000 till 12th of June. There is early bird offer on this batch, and if you register post 12th of June, then the fees will be 20,000. So guys, I hope all of you will be trying to enroll by 12th June to avail this offer. For enrollment, you just need to drop us mail on this ID, info@nixustechnologies.com. So let's see program outline. Basically, what all modules we are going to see in the training. We are going to learn Hadoop introduction and HDFS, Hadoop setup on single node, plus cloud computing fundamentals and Hadoop setup on cluster. Guys, you yourself will be doing Hadoop setup on your systems as per the guidance from the trainer. We will be also going through Hadoop cluster optimization and HDFS workshop. As I told you, more than 80% of the training will be practical. So basically with each and every concept you will be undergoing workshop, you will be given assignments for each and every concept. You will be going through MapReduce fundamentals, which requires basic Java knowledge. Which is this basic Java knowledge, it's not mandatory. Even if in case you are not aware of this knowledge, this Java knowledge will be providing you, we will be providing you Java tutorials and you can go through them. You will be undergoing MapReduce workshops. You will be learning advanced MapReduce concepts, Hive fundamentals and workshops, Pig fundamentals and workshop, HBase and NoSQL, Flume and Scoop. And guys, one more feature of our training is you will be going through new version of Hadoop, which is Hadoop 2. You will be learning Hadoop 2, Yarn, HDFS Federation, and name node high availability. You will be undergoing several POCs. There will be a project discussion and doubt clearing session. During training, anytime, every time you can clear your doubts from the trainer. You can ask during the sessions itself or you can clear your doubts after the session also. Let me now introduce you the faculty for our upcoming batches. He is Mr. Anish P. Anish has over 15 years of experience in software development, of which he has spent last 4 years as Big Data Architect. He is currently heading the Big Data Engineering practice of one of India's largest analytics company. Guys, Anish has lot many areas of expertise, some of which includes Hadoop architecture, development and administration, real-time analytics, social media analytics, and big data strategy. Anish is a BTech from IIT Bombay and MS from BITS Pilani in computer science. And his qualification in Hadoop is he is Cloudera certified. So we welcome you, Anish. And now your basics of big data and Hadoop and further on big data will be taken by Anish. So guys, I'll handle over to Anish.
Hi guys, can you hear me? If you can quickly put it in a chat box. Okay, cool, fine. So yeah, Radhika, thanks for the nice introduction. Let's start with what and why of big data and Hadoop. So guys, Currently we are having data explosion. We are having data floods. So data is exploded currently in industry like anything. Today you have heard about big data and Hadoop. Everybody is talking about big data and big data. Why so? If I give you one figure, 2.5 quintillion bytes of data is getting generated each year. 2.5 quintillion, you can imagine the number of zeros. Apart from that, 90% of the data in the world has been created in just last 2 years alone. Now you can imagine the data generation is not linear with time, but it is exponential. So if you can see, by 2012 it was around 3 zettabyte. Now in 2014 it's around 5 zettabyte. So by 2020 it will reach around 45 zettabyte. Data is growing at 40% compound annual rate, reaching nearly 45 zettabytes by 2020. Let's understand the essence of big data. So big data, we can surely understand that yes, it is huge volume of data, that is data at rest, which may be terabytes to zettabytes of existing data to be processed. So according to our requirement, we will process that data and we can generate the insights from that. But volume is just not only a single dimension of the big data, it also includes velocity. That's again a very important dimension for the same. Velocity means data in motion. We are getting the data in real time, and in the real time we are generating, processing and giving back the results. So if I take a real-time example, say for example on any e-commerce website, if you add any item in your cart and in real time you get a offer that is specific to you on that particular product. Or if I take another example, little complex example, as all of us are using credit cards, so millions of credit card transactions are done each day. So guys, you know how much time it takes to do a credit card transaction? Just merely 5 seconds. In that 5 seconds, we need to collect the data from your client system. We need to process to find out potential fraud and then give the results back according to the pattern. Say for example, if the chances of that particular transaction being fraudulent is high, so we need to cancel that transaction. So what I mean to say is we need to collect as well as process the data in real time. That I mean the velocity. The third dimension is the variety. So guys, today data is not just generated in the structured form. Structured means we have the data in the form of rows and columns. The data is generated in structured, semi-structured and unstructured form. So semi-structured will be considered as like XML, like JSON, which we can't directly put in RDBMS. And what is unstructured data? Unstructured data means the data that's freely float or free form of text. Say for example, your multimedia, images, videos, all such things. Apart from that, like you are posting to the social media, like you tweet on the Twitter, that's a form of unstructured data. So on unstructured data, you can't put any structure. But guys, unfortunately, unstructured data is very complex. Apart from that, today 80% of the data generated today is unstructured. So it means it requires a mechanism, a tool or a framework that can handle unstructured data also. The fourth dimension is veracity. Veracity, interesting dimension. So veracity means data is in doubt. It means that there is lots of uncertainty in the data. There is inconsistency or incompleteness in the data. It means when we are collecting the data, we still don't know whether that data is 100% correct or not, whether there is some duplication in the data or not. So all such conditions also taken care while we pre-process this data. So pre-processing means we remove the dirty data and we just pass the good records. So that's a very basic overview of the big data 4 dimensions. Apart from these 4 dimensions, we also have validity and volatility. These are the 2 minor dimensions of the big data. Now let's talk about the examples of data generation. So guys, today we know that they are very big giants, big companies that are generating huge volume of data. So before taking the example of Walmart, if I give you the example of Facebook is generating petabytes of data per day. Even Facebook has put 200 petabyte of data online using HBase Hive, means on the top of Hadoop. All your chatting, messaging is on the top of is using the Hadoop and its ecosystem. Apart from that, guys, your profile pic is stored in HBase. That's why when you load your Facebook wall, you can see your friends profile pic loads very fastly as compared to their the pics that they have shared. So by the way, Facebook is that much fast, that much it is able to respond to that many millions of users due to Hadoop. Hadoop is the main reason behind that. Okay, let's talk about Walmart. Walmart is having 200 million weekly customers across 10,700 stores in 27 countries. 1.5 million customer transactions every hour. It is generating 3 petabyte of data. 3 petabyte of data are stored in Walmart's Hadoop cluster. It's generating huge volume of data. So guys, this particular data that is available with Walmart, they are just not only storing the data, they are analyzing the data to the another dimension. What do you mean by another dimension? They are processing the data and getting the insights. Say for example, insights related to the customer, what customers are liking, what they are not liking. If a customer is purchasing product A, what's the probability that he will purchase product B also? We are having the same story in the use case also, use case section. So what I mean to say is the Walmart is storing that data as well as it is processing this huge volume of data, and accordingly the business is taking the decision. Let me take one more example. So one Boeing plane engine generate 20 terabyte of data for every hour of flying. Guys, 20 terabyte, just one Boeing plane engine. So I have a question to all of you. How much data do all the flights in the world generates every year if there are 100,000 two-engine flights daily? Anybody would like to give any figure? I'll give you 10 seconds to answer this particular question. Okay. 100 petabyte, I would say very low. Okay. Okay, all of you are answering in the petabytes. Okay, let me show you the answer. So guys, it is 6,000 exabytes. Just imagine, or 6 million petabytes. Huge volume of data that is generated. So all of you are aware of this Malaysian flight that disappeared. So today the companies, this airline industry, they are trying to generate a system, develop a system that they will capture that data, that TBs of data in real time that is getting generated by the engine, the black box of your engine. So you can imagine the volume that they are going to capture in real time, and they will process the same in the real time. Okay, let's talk about the conventional approaches. So guys, before the big data came into the picture, there were surely a number of conventional approaches that we were using. So for the storage, we have got RDBMS, which is pretty much popular. So there are a number of different options available for the RDBMSs, like Oracle, DB2, MySQL, SQL Server, etc. So for the storage of structured data, we use RDBMS, and for storage of unstructured data, we use OS file system. Now for the processing of structured data, that is in RDBMS, we use SQL queries. And for the unstructured data, that is in OS file system, means maximum I have seen in my client location that the people are having mostly in C and Perl's combination. They are feeling the best because Perl is having the native capability of parsing. So guys, these are the pretty good solution up to a certain volume of data. If your data is in the range of GBs, say 50 GB, 100 GB, but if it goes beyond 100 or 500 gigs, then it starts problem. It starts giving problem. What are the actual problem that the current industry is facing? That's why big data was quite an essential part, or there was a requirement for the generation development of the big data technologies. So guys, with discussing all these limitation, I'll share a few use cases also with you. I'm sure many of you have seen similar issues, similar pain points. First issue, limited storage capacity. So guys, while I was having a discussion with the leading telecom operator in India, they can store only last 6 months of their data in their production system. Just last 6 months of data. What about the data that is older than 6 months? They need to archive the data. They need to archive that data. So whenever archival come into the picture, it's always a very big pain point. Why so? So guys, because even if I take their own case, they keep getting the requirement from their business of the reports that is of the data that is older than 6 months. So what they need to do, they need to load the data back from their tapes to another system, that's analytics system. So they have got a very big, by the way, that is a very big monster system. If I give you the configuration of that system, it's 500 gigs RAM, 128 core processor, and TBs of hard disk. Their data generation, that's IVR, CDRs, all such data that is they are capturing, it's very huge. So they are facing this particular issue, really a very big issue, because the data loading from tapes back to their analytics system, it takes somewhere around 26 to 40, 24 to 48 hours, which is very big time. So again, in today's era, today's world of big data, business needs to wait for 24 to 48 hours for their report, because until unless they get that particular report, they can't take the decision. All such insights, all such analytics are coming into picture for taking business to take the decision. Second pain point, limited processing capacity. If I take the similar example of the telecom operator, some of their reports was taking more than 4 hours to generate. Again, issue was their DW is on a single system. If they are operating from a single system, you can imagine due to the single system is having the limited configuration, limited resources. That's why it might be slow as soon as your volume of data increases. I'll share one more use case with this similar example. That's a very big use case that saw from one of biggest retailer in India. Third point, no scalability. So guys, we can't scale a system say beyond a certain limit. Even I would say there is no scalability on the fly that is available for the conventional technologies. You can't add more resources without any downtime. Single point of failure, since your example Oracle, it is running on a single machine. So if that machine goes down, you need to wait until and unless that machine become up. Third point, next point, sequential processing. So guys, if your repository is working on single machine, you can't get true parallel processing. You can surely get the multi-threading, but the true parallel processing can only come into the picture until you have distributed system, that is multiple machines working together. Apart from that, again, biggest challenge, RDBMS can handle only structured data. So we have seen that today 80% of the data is unstructured. So what about those unstructured data? How we can handle that data? It requires pre-processing of the data. If we are getting the data in the form of say semi-structured or unstructured, we need to pre-process the data, and the information is collected according to current business needs. So guys, today if your requirement are say out of some records, say if you are getting the data in the form of unstructured, today what business is doing, they pre-process the data and just store the processed data with them. But for the advanced analytics, for the data scientist, they need the raw data. Again, this is a very big challenge for the orgs that having the practice of storing the processed data. So what do I mean by that? So I hope all of you know about ETL, that is extract, transform and load, right? Okay, but guys, now ETL terminology has been changed from ETL to ELTL. It means extract from the source, load is as it is, that is load the raw data, whether that is structured, semi-structured or unstructured. So you are supposed to take the backup of raw data rather than processed data. So after loading the raw data, then transform it according to your business needs, then load it into again DW. Now you will say that we are storing the data in two different formats. It will cost money. But I would say guys, today hard disk spaces are very cheap. Merely on by 3000 we can get a TV space, right? Okay, let's move further. So what is the solution? So these are the pain points, very big issues that we have seen that the customer is facing. Almost all the customer facing industries are having the same pain points. What is the solution? Big data, Hadoop. So guys, by the way, Hadoop is a solution of big data, but Hadoop is that much popular that Hadoop and big data is today synonymous to each other. While I'll be giving you the characteristics of Hadoop, you can map to the problem of conventional technologies, and you'll seeing that all the problems, all the pain points of conventional technologies will be solved by just the characteristics or just the design principle of Hadoop only. Let's understand what is Hadoop. Hadoop is an open source project from Apache Software Foundation. Now guys, you'll say open source project are really not being accepted across the industry, across the enterprises. But it is really the story of very old days now. Today, Hadoop has been deployed to almost all the companies. I'm having the list of the same that we'll see later. But companies like Microsoft is also has accepted the power of Hadoop. They have done the partnership with the Yahoo to make Hadoop compatible with Windows. So companies like, if you say, take the example of Walmart, Facebook, Yahoo, everybody is using Hadoop. Now apart from that, if I say Hadoop is just an open source project, no. Hadoop comes as a proprietary version also. So there are vendors available for the Hadoop, that's IBM, Cloudera, EMC, Mapr. So it is available in a proprietary version also. You can purchase Hadoop from them as well. The third point regarding open source is that there is a very interesting thing. If certain functionality of Hadoop doesn't fulfill your requirement, simply download its source code and change it according to your requirement. So recently we also got the similar requirement. Certain functionality of the way Hadoop takes the data and the way Hadoop processes the data was not fulfilling our requirement. What we did, simply downloaded the source code, changed it according to our requirements, and then deployed it. So guys, by the way, the open source community for the Apache Hadoop is really very big and very enthusiastic. By the way, I'm also part of open source community. I myself has written few modules of Hadoop. It provides software framework for distributing and running applications on cluster of servers. So guys, now via these properties you can understand that Hadoop doesn't work on single machine. Hadoop work on cluster of machines. Cluster means multiple machines connected together. Say for example, you have 10 machine or 100 machine or 1000 machine. So Hadoop can be deployed on all those 100 or thousands machines parallelly, and whatever work you submit, that will be done parallelly by those thousands machines. Now you can understand that it removes the n number of different issues of the conventional technologies by its design only, by its architecture only, right? Okay, let's move ahead. Hadoop is inspired by Google's MapReduce programming model as well as Google file system. So actually Hadoop was originally a sub project of Nux search engine. Doug Cutting and his team was working on a Nux search engine where they found the requirement similar to the paper that Google has published in 2004. So in 2006 Doug Cutting and his team at Apache started working on Hadoop as a sub-project, but due to its power and popularity, Hadoop soon became the top-level project of Apache. Hadoop is an open source framework written in Java. So now guys, since it's written in Java, it's recommended to code in Java, but it's not compulsory. You can code in C, C++, Ruby, Groovy, Perl, Python also. Apart from that, Hadoop is not a single just tool. Hadoop is a framework which provides you n number of different mechanisms to interact with Hadoop. Like if you are a SQL lover, Hadoop is providing you an SQL front also. There is a phase of Hadoop that gives you the mechanism with which you can submit just an SQL on Hadoop. If you are a script lover, there is again one end of Hadoop available for the script. You can submit script, you can code in scripting language. Okay. It efficiently processes large volume of data on a cluster of commodity hardware. Now guys, what do I mean by commodity hardware? Commodity hardware means your day-to-day purpose systems like low-end hardware, like your i5 machines. It's that much cheap hardware. Also you can deploy Hadoop. Now if you can recall the example that the system that that telecom operator is having 500 gigs RAM. So instead of those costly hardware, Hadoop just needs a commodity hardware. And even Yahoo has deployed 54,000 nodes, commodity nodes for Hadoop, just for Hadoop. So guys, if you say, for example, if you purchase 100 system, say every system is of 5 GB RAM. So if I add all 100 systems resources, whose overall resource will become equal to that single monster system, then also these 100 systems cost will be 10 to 15 times less as compared to that individual system. So you can imagine that system is that much costly, a monster system. In this way, Hadoop is pretty much economic. Now, as we have talked that Hadoop works on a cluster, but it doesn't mean that you will be needing cluster to learn for the learning for each and every purpose for your understanding and things R&D. Hadoop can be set up on a single machine, but real power of Hadoop comes with a cluster of machines. It can be scaled from a single machine to 1,000 nodes on the fly. On the fly means without any downtime. So guys, just imagine this, without any single second downtime, without any hiccups. If you have say 10 node cluster, from 10 node cluster you can make it to 20 node cluster, and the user who are using the same won't get a single hiccup. They won't even understand that whether there is any change in the same. Hadoop consists of two key parts. Hadoop distributed file system, that is HDFS, and MapReduce, that is for the processing. So guys, we have got a clear cut. Say for your local file system, you are, for Windows users, they have the NTFS or FAT32. Similarly, here we have got a typical file system for the storage, where you can create your directory, where you can put your data, and for the processing we have MapReduce. By the way, MapReduce is called heart of Hadoop. Let's see the basic architecture of Hadoop. So guys, you can see there is a master and there are a number of slaves. It means Hadoop works in a master and slave fashion. Right? Apart from that, now from just a master and slave word, you hope so you have understand that master, as soon as master and slave word come into the picture, we understand that master doesn't do any work. Even master takes the work from the slaves. So guys, slaves are the actual worker nodes. So if I give you a simple example, when users submit a MapReduce job, so by the way, for the processing we got MapReduce job, or user submit any work, in a general term if I say, user submit any work to the master, and suppose I am having 100 slaves in the background. So the same work will be submitted to all 100 machines. Now guys, you can imagine my work will be 100 times faster, because earlier I just have a single machine that was doing all the processing, all the work, right? If I take the example of Oracle, in the Oracle you have got just one machine, and that one machine was doing all your work. If you want to take an analogy, a very simple analogy, like a single person building a home, suppose he takes 1,000 days versus 100 people work, build a home, they will take merely 10 days, right? It would be 100 times faster. So guys, as I told you, from the design principle, from the design architecture of Hadoop, and number of different issues will get resolved by, that was with the conventional technologies or RDBMSs. So guys, apart from that, if I give a few more details about Hadoop stores the data on the slave. Say for example, user submit some data to store, so that data will be stored on the all the slaves. Data will be divided into small part, like if you have say a file of size 1 terabyte, so that 1 TB file will be divided into a small chunk of 64 MB. So like one first part here, second here, third here, fourth here, fifth here, sixth here, seventh here, and so on. Those chunks will be stored on the complete cluster. Let me explain. First, let's talk about HDFS. HDFS is highly fault tolerant, distributed, reliable, and scalable file system for the data storage. So guys, HDFS is really very powerful file system. If I say MapReduce is the heart of Hadoop, to give all the power and all the capabilities to the heart, that it needs a file system like HDFS. HDFS stores multiple copy of data on different nodes. That is, a file is split up into blocks, that is default 64 MB, and stored across multiple machines. I'll show you this with a nice animation also, just in next slide. Before that, Hadoop cluster typically has a single name node. Name node is also called as master, and a number of data nodes, that's called a slave, to form HDFS cluster or Hadoop cluster. Let's understand the second point once again, how exactly the data is stored in HDFS. So guys, here I have got a very big large file, as you can see. Now if I want to store this large file into HDFS, firstly this file will be divided into blocks. So you can see block 1, block 2, block 3, and block 4, and so on, right? Then when we store this particular file on the cluster, this file will be stored on different nodes. You can see block 1 here, block 2 here, block 3, block 4, and so on, right? If you want, let me run this animation again to explain again. The file, large file, say of 100 TB, divided into blocks and number of small blocks, and the block are stored on different cluster, different nodes in the cluster. Now guys, Hadoop stores multiple copy of the data. You can see block 1 is available here, but there will be 2 extra copy of the block 1 will be available. You can see the block 1 copy is available here. So for the simplicity, I have shown 2 copy only. By default, their application factor is 3. Block 2 is available here as well as here. So in case if a single node goes down, suppose this highlighted node goes down, so we will be having the same data available at this node, this particular highlighted nodes, right? In this way, Hadoop is fault tolerant. In this way, HDFS is fault tolerant. So we have seen how exactly the data is stored on HDFS. Let's see MapReduce. Okay, let's have architecture of HDFS. So guys, it is a detailed architecture of HDFS where we have got a name node. Name node doesn't store the data. Instead, it stores the metadata. That is the data about the data. Metadata, that is the name, replicas, blocks, locations, and all. and the actual data is stored on the data node. So this yellow boxes are the data node or the slaves, and the green boxes are the block of data. So you can see the blocks are stored on all the machines in the cluster, that is on all the slaves. So if client want to read the data, they can interact with the name node and they can read directly from the data nodes. If they want to write the data, they can interact with the name node and they can directly write to the data nodes parallelly. Apart from that, guys, you can see the slaves, this data nodes are divided into racks, rack 1 and rack 2. Hadoop is rack aware. So what is rack awareness? We'll see the same in our actual sessions. It can just like a 2 rack where we have got n number of data nodes arranged, in simple term if I say. So there is a, if there is a single rack, complete rack goes down, then also it will be highly available because the data, at least one copy will be available in some other rack. Okay, let's talk about the map reduce. So guys, as discussed, map reduce is the heart of Hadoop. Map reduce is a programming model designed for processing large volumes of data in parallel by dividing the work into set of independent tasks. Let me explain each and every term of this particular definition. So guys, MapReduce is a programming model where we write native Java or C or C++, Perl, Python, any code, usually Java code, for the processing of large volume. So Hadoop itself is developed for the big data, large volume of data, but it processes this data in parallel. Like we have seen that data is stored distributedly, that's why it's processed parallelly or distributedly. It divides the work into independent tasks. I'll show you how exactly it divides in next slide. MapReduce is paradigm for distributed processing of large data set over a cluster of nodes. Let me show you the complete thing with an animation. So guys, in the last slide we have seen that about HDFS, we have seen that okay, how data is stored, how data is distributed and stored on multiple nodes in the cluster, like B1, B2, B3, B4, all such blocks are available here, right? Now when it comes for the processing, how the data is getting processed, user needs to write his own MapReduce job. So user develops a MapReduce job, right? MapReduce job, a simple processing job, a simple processing code. Now user submit the job to the master. You can see user has submitted the same job to the master. Now guys, instead of moving the data, it moves algorithm close to the data. So you can see this particular MapReduce job, the master will submit to all the machine where the data is available. Look at this. The same MapReduce job has been submitted to all the machine where the blocks are available. Now it will process the blocks on their machine, on the slaves where the data is available, and it will generate the result. So guys, Hadoop follows the principle of data locality. That means instead of moving data to the computation or data to the algorithm, move algorithm close to the data. Because guys, today we are talking the data that is in the range of petabytes. So movement of petabytes of data is really not feasible, not possible, not efficient. That's why we have moved the algorithm to the data. Okay. So let's talk about, so guys, that's a very brief about Hadoop. It's a basic architecture and it's two components, that is HDFS and MapReduce. Now let's talk about why Hadoop and big data analysis. Why today everybody is talking about big data? What happens suddenly in the industry? The main reason is there is a huge competition in the market. First, let's talk about the retail industry, where they are doing n number of different type of analytics. If I talk about the customer analytics, so based on the previous buying pattern, we can find out the likings and dislikings of the customer. so we can give them the recommendation. Okay boss, you might like this, the recommendation. I hope all of you have seen the same recommendation on the e-commerce website. So this particular recommendation by the e-commerce is different for each and every user. It depends on his previous buying, searching and browsing pattern. Okay, apart from that guys, analytics has reached to the new heights today. Previously, if I say till 2009 8 9, we can answer the question that what was my sales last year, last 6 months, or last Diwali, last Christmas. But today we can answer the question like what will be my sales next year, next Diwali, next 6 months, next Christmas. All such answers, all such questions can be answered today. So accordingly, business can take decision that okay, which product they should order and which product they shouldn't. Apart from that, let me explain, let me take a real use case, interesting use case. So guys, we have got one project from a leading retailer in India that they want to make their store customer friendly, more customer friendly, so that it can increase their revenue. So guys, it's a general tendency that if a person sees the product that he want to purchase in his eyes, in front of his eyes, then the probability of he purchase the product is much high. So what we have done, we have created an application which find out that if a person A is interested in product say butter, if a person buys a product butter as well as he buys milk, what is the probability that he buy bread also? Okay, so if for a person, if he purchase product A as well as product B, what is the probability that he will purchase product C, D or E? If the priority is high, we'll put all 3 or 4 products together, so that if he sees that those products in front of his eyes, he will purchase that product. So guys, by applying the similar methodology to a store, we found that the sales of that store was increased by 24%. That is a very big figure. Let's talk about few other use cases. So today travel industry are also understanding the travel pattern of their customers, so that they can give them the recommendation for their next flight, next travel. They can give them specific advertisement, specific offer. Apart from that, there is an interesting use case of the website. So for example, today each and every business is having their own websites. Now websites are interested in finding the user's navigation pattern. Like say for example, you are a owner of Amazon. So Amazon retail is interested in finding out, Amazon e-commerce is interested in finding out what, from where you came to my website, what is your navigation pattern. So say for example, you came from Google or Facebook and you landed to say mobile section, and from the mobile section, which mobile phone all you have browsed. Apart from that, at what page you exit, from which page you exit, whether you have purchased, whether you have convert, means what's the conversion rate, whether you just came and leave the website, or whether you have purchased something. All such things has been now analyzed, and accordingly they are giving the recommendations. Like for a different, for say for example a person A, the product recommendation is different. For a person B, the recommendation is different. Apart from that guys, big data is currently heavily used in the sensors, satellite and geospatial data also. As we know, sensors are generating huge volume of data. So to analyze those data, say for example today we have got the sensors of like say earthquake sensors, cyclone sensors. So we want to analyze that data as soon as possible, and then we can take all the precautionary measures. Next very important use case is in the military and intelligence. So today militaries, say if they take the example of US, they are capturing the data from all over the world. They are capturing the data, not only they are just capturing, they are processing that data in real time, so that they can find out if there is any suspicious movement. If somebody is taking some say some weapons from one place to another, or there is some any terrorist activity, so that they can take the action immediately. All your intelligence agencies, they are using the big data to finding out certain patterns. Let's talk about a very interesting use case on which I've worked. So it's quite an interesting, quite a big use case. So leading retailer in India, they are having their RAT application. So my client gets 100 GB of invoice data daily in XML format. This invoice data needs to be transformed into structured format, which involves validation, verification, and complex business rules implementation. So guys, this particular thing, the validation and verification itself is very complex. They need to do n number of checks, whether n number of different attributes, n number of different leaves and their orders, everything is correct or not. Then only they will consider that particular invoice a correct invoice. Then after that, they apply a complex business rules to transform those XMLs. If I give you the detail of their approach, their existing approach, they have developed the same code in C and Perl. For the processing, they have Perl script, and the time taken to process the data by them is 10 hours. It's really very big time. 10 hours is really very big. When I visited them, so I got a requirement that if I can reduce this 10 hours to 5 hours, they're getting their data at 3 a.m. in the morning, early morning, and it takes next 10 hours to process the data, and their business wants early alerts so that they can, if required, they can take the action, they can take the decision. What was the sales there last day? So at the time I say, okay, let me try for making it 50% efficiency, 50% time reduction of the time. Then I have developed the same code using my big data, using Hadoop. I have written the map reduce code in Java. When we have tested it in 3 nodes, 5 nodes and 10 nodes, so when we deploy the same on 10 node cluster, the time taken to process the data was just 10 minutes. So guys, just imagine we have reduced the time from 10 hours to 10 minutes. It's a real use case that I have deployed to the retailer here. So when I shown them, boss, I have reduced it to 10 hours, they really they were not able to believe that until unless I shown them the POC, the actual working POC, that yes, put your data in processing, it will just take 10 minutes. So all such type of things are possible today. Let's talk about few more use cases. Turn 12 terabyte of tweets created each day into improved product sentiment analysis. So guys, today everybody is writing about his own opinion. They are writing about, say, a certain product they are using, a certain services they are using. Now companies, say for example, let's talk about Disney, let's talk about any customer facing industry, let's talk about any bank, any telecoms. So everybody is interested in finding out what people are thinking about them, what's the people's sentiment about them, whether people are saying positive, negative about them, and what positive, what negative. So today people are finding out the sentiment. Say for example, if I'm launching a service, so down the line, say 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, what people are writing about my service, right? So if say people are saying 70% of the people are saying negative about that, it means there is a big flaw, there is big issues, I need to immediately change, I need to immediately stop the production. If it is say 70-80% positive sentiment, it's a big hit. So sentiment analysis project I have deployed to a number of my different clients. It's a really very interesting use case. Let's talk about the next use case. Turn billions of customer complaints to find root cause of customer churn. So guys, recently in India we have got in telecom sector, we have got portability implemented. From one operator you can switch to another operator. So you know that today people are switching from one operator to another operator, but the pain point for the operator from which people are living is really very big. They wanted to find out why people are leaving me, right? So we have implemented a similar application in Hadoop to find out the root cause of the customer churn. Next use case, analyze customer searching buying pattern and show them the advertisement of attractive offer in real time. So guys, when a user is clicking on any product, when he's viewing any product in the real time, if you can show him the advertisement, real time is within a second or two. Millions of credit card transactions done each day to identify the potential fraud in real time. So for the credit card transaction, you hardly take 5 to 7 seconds. In that time, when millions of hits are coming, you need to find out whether that transaction is fraudulent or not. If it is fraudulent, you need to take the corrective measures. You need to stop that transaction. Apart from that, guys, 2012 US presidential election, it is a very nice example of big data implementation. Obama won the election due to big data. Obama has, by the way, there is a very nice case study available over the net. I recommend all of you to do the googling for the same. Obama won the election due to big data. So after giving any speech, Obama crawled the complete web, depending on the time dimension, depending on the geographical location, say down the line 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, say from New York, California, say from India, from China, every place he crawled the say social media sites like these news sites, and he find out the sentiment. So if people are saying negative about his previous speech, say for example his any comment about Iraq, people are feeling negative, people are saying negative, so he takes the corrective measure in his next speech. So that's a very basic overview about and different use cases. So let's see Hadoop ecosystem. So Hadoop is not just a small tool. Now Hadoop is coming up with a complete ecosystem. We have seen HDFS and MapReduce that compose the Hadoop framework, the Hadoop. Apart from that, we have got HBase. So HBase is a NoSQL database which works on the top of Hadoop. So NoSQL come into the picture where SQL can't answer your request. So if you are getting say millions of the queries and you want the result in a second, so where HBase NoSQL come into the picture. Now Hive provides you a SQL front. So with the help of Hive, you can submit the SQL query. Hive will convert that SQL query into MapReduce job. As I told you guys, with Hadoop, there is a possibility for each and every technology. Say if you are from Java background, programming background, you can choose Hadoop. If you are from say SQL background, you can come with Hive. If you are from scripting background, you can choose Pig. So for a Pig lover, for a scripting lover, he can write his code in Pig Latin language, which will be converted into MapReduce. For the workflow management, we have got Uzi, and for collection of the data, we have got Flume. So Flume is for the ETL, and Scoop for the data transfer between SQL, that is RDBMS, and Hadoop. So it's for to and fro from between RDBMS and Hadoop. That's a very brief overview about Hadoop ecosystem. Let's talk about future of Hadoop. So as we know that, guys, so today Hadoop is at its peak, but frankly speaking, that is just a local maxima. The global maxima is about to come around mid or end of the 2015. According to Forbes, world's 85% of the data will be in Hadoop by 2015. So you can imagine the implementation that is going across the globe for Hadoop. Hadoop is replacing the big data, Hadoop is replacing the DW like anything today. I recommend you all of you to use the Google Trends for the same. So in the Google Trends, if you see, the graph of Hadoop is increasing exponentially, whereas the graph of data warehouse is going down at the similar rate. IDC predict big data market revenue will grow at 31% at a year, reaching the 23.8 billion mark in 2016. Another recent IDC forecast suggests that the big data technology and services market will grow at 27% compound annual growth rate to reach $32 billion through 2017, which is 6 times the growth rate of overall information and communication technology market. So guys, you can imagine the rate at which the Hadoop is being adopted across the industry. So if I talk about the careers in Hadoop and big data, so guys, today the companies that are hiring or using the Hadoop, if I talk about the IT services companies, almost all the companies have started using Hadoop, like Infosys, Accenture, IBM, TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, HCL, and all. If I talk about the analytics outsources, we have got Mu Sigma, Fractal Analytics, Absolute Data, Latent View, Genpact, WNS. Retail industry, they are the end customers which are using the Hadoop and big data, like Reliance, Walmart, Sears, Tesco, Carrefour, Target. So these companies have already deployed Hadoop cluster at their data centers. If we talk about few consultancies like PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, McKinsey, so these are the few top examples, few top companies that they are using Hadoop. Apart from that, almost all the companies, whether that is a small scale to big scale to mid scale, everybody is using Hadoop. If I talk about in the domain wise, the financial domains, Citibank, SBI, HSBC, ICICI, JP Morgan, Berkeley, MX, they are using Hadoop. If we talk about telecos, Airtel, Reliance, Vodafone, Idea, TTSL, Nokia, Siemens, they have implemented Hadoop at their end. Not only the just financial telecoms, the companies like healthcare domain, they are also using Hadoop, like Novartis, Dr. Reddy's, Ranbaxy, Cipla, Pfizer. E-commerce domain is also using Hadoop. So e-commerce domain is using Hadoop quite heavily. So Amazon, PayPal, Flipkart, Snapdeal, eBay, these guys are using Hadoop like anything. They are processing TBs of data each day, and accordingly they are getting the insights and taking the decisions. If we see Hadoop trend, job trend in Hadoop, this is that I have taken from the Indeed.com. So you can see the job trend in Hadoop is increasing like anything. So this orange one is Hadoop, and even if we take the same in generalized term, so look at this, the blue one, this graph is at the top of all other technologies. So big data's graph is increasing quite fastly. Apart from that, ETL is going down, data warehousing is also going down, if I talk about the job market. And if we see the Google trends, they are the big data and Hadoop, this particular graph is quite high exponentially. Let's talk about the careers in Hadoop. So guys, there are various roles for Hadoop. The biggest role, the senior most role, is for the Hadoop architect, whose job function is to design, manage, and provide end-to-end big data solution. Sorry. The skill required for him is almost all these skills that's available with Hadoop. That's HDFS, MapReduce, Hive, HBase, Pig, Uzi, Scoop, Flume, Java, Linux, NoSQL, data warehousing, cloud computing, etc. So the experience level will be for him will be around 8 to 10 plus years. He should have the current experience of the industry. For the Hadoop developer, his job is to develop applications in MapReduce. He should have the overview of all technologies, but he should be expert in MapReduce, HDFS, Hive, and Java. And the experience level will be in between 0 to 5 years. Apart from that, it's so for the Java developer, there is a role of Hadoop developer, and for the admins who knows Linux, for them there is a role of Hadoop administrator. They manage Hadoop cluster and database system and design the data pipeline. For them, the skills required is Hadoop, Linux, network management, hardware skills. Again, the experience level will be between 0 to 5 years. For the Hadoop analyst, they analyze the large volume of data and bring out the insights. For him, Hive and SQL are the major skills that's required for them. And the experience level is again 0 to 5 years. Now you'll ask for the DW guys. For the data warehousing or DBAs, I would say Hadoop admin plus Hadoop analyst would be the best option for them. let's move ahead. So guys, I would say learn Hadoop because it's a future. Almost all the companies have started using Hadoop, and even currently there is a big mismatch in the supply and demand of Hadoop talent. So alone US is having more than 1 lakh vacancy today for the big data and Hadoop. So currently there is a very big requirement, but this requirement is going to increase with the time. So I would say by 2015 the requirement will be the highest in Hadoop, and due to the Hadoop is currently it's still a niche technology, the pay scale in Hadoop is really very high. So I would say start now before it's too late. Join us and grow your career. So guys, how will Nixus technologies help you in taking your moving your career forward? At Nixus Technologies, we are your first step to move on the ladder of developing career in latest and hottest technology, that is big data. You will be trained in the latest big data tools and technologies so that you can confidently make a career shift into world of Hadoop. So guys, after attending the training, after attending this particular course, you will become employable into big data. So as Radhika has told you, we are having 36 hours of live interactive online sessions. Apart from that, you will get 36 to 40 hours of assignments and 20 hours of project and POC work. So overall, we will be having 100-hour module where 36 to 40 hours will be spending together live, and then after that you will be working, you'll be doing the assignments and project. Our training course will help you gain the practical skills required by the employers so that you can directly jump into big data, you can directly start giving the interviews. Nixus Technologies has started a Student of the Batch award. It will be given to the best student and he will get 20% of fee refunded to him. What is the end result of doing this course? So guys, as discussed, you'll become the employable in big data and Hadoop industry, gain the practical skills which employers need rather than theoretical knowledge. So guys, today even I myself has taken more than 800 interviews. So even out of that, frankly speaking guys, I have rejected more than 94% guys, more than 90 to 94% guys I have rejected. Why so? Because lack of practical skills. In this course, you'll be working on POC and live project during the course, and you can update the same in your CV also, so that it will be very easy for you to get the job. Yeah, thank you guys. So we are open for your questions. If you have any question, any doubts, I'm here. Okay, so Bhavish is asking, how will we do the practicals? Bhavish, virtual lab will be installed on your system so that you can do the practicals at your convenience from your home, at offline at any point of time you can access that. I'll be guiding you to install the same, and you can install that. So I'll make you the presenter and I'll check all the configuration, everything at your system. I need map reduce examples. Yes, Sebel, we'll be having a number of map reduce examples during our session. So if you talk about a specific map reduce example, say if I give you say data crunching, if you want to pre-process your data or you want to get the analytics insights of the data for the same, you can write the map reduce job. Say if I take you the example of say web analytics, the one of our POC where we'll be writing the map reduce job and gather the information, get the insights from that. Yes, Samuel, you can use any of the source, any of the data. So you are saying that I'll be using for bioinformatic data. Yes, you can use that for that as well. We can take that also, no issues. So it would be a good use case that you can work, and if you face any issue, I'll be there. Meanwhile, Yogesh is asking, I have 10 plus years of SQL experience. How can I shift to big data? Yogesh, you are having quite a good experience in industry. I would say you should go for an architect role. So you should go with the, say, this Hadoop, this developer course, developer plus architect course, where I'll be explaining you the all the, say, concepts about Hadoop, where we'll be starting from zero till the expert level. Apart from that, uh, it will be optional for you. So for Yogesh, it will be optional, since you are having the experience in SQL. It will be optional for you to write the Java code, because you won't be coding in Java. You will be responsible for the end-to-end deliveries, end-to-end architecture. You need to provide the solution to your clients. Okay, let me take few more questions. Sanjeev is asking, I'm a middleware admin. Will it be useful if I switch to the domain to Hadoop? Should I learn Hadoop developer and administration? Sanjeev, I would say you should. So it depends on your requirement, your interest, by the way. So let me give you the example of both. For the Hadoop admin, you need to have the basic knowledge of Linux, and you will be responsible of setting off end-to-end cluster for their management and for their monitoring of this complete cluster. So here you will be having like, say, 100 to 1000 nodes where you will be deploying the same. You will be deploying Hadoop, Hive, HBase and complete ecosystem, and you need to monitor the same. You need to tune your complete cluster and everything, every admin activity you need to take care. While for the development, you should have the basic knowledge of Java. So don't worry if you do not know the Java. We'll be providing you the Java essential for Apache Hadoop. That is, a recording will be provided to you, so that you can go through those recordings, and that will be sufficient for you to enter into Hadoop development. So by the way, Sanjeev, in the middleware, what thing you are doing? If you can just give me. Okay, you are in the admin, middleware admin. So Sanjeev, you can go for the Hadoop admin. Sabil is asking, okay. Yogesh is saying, but without having experience in big data, will company accept me as a big data architect role? Yogesh, surely you are not currently having any experience in big data, but after attending the training, you will be at that level that you will be having the confidence and the knowledge of a level that you can add up to 1 year of experience in your profile. So because we'll be mostly dealing with the practical, so you'll be having that much practical knowledge that you can even say, it's not only just the development thing that we are going to see. We'll be looking for the practical things like end-to-end architecture. What type of architecture? Say for example, a specific problem that you are going to get from a client. Similar type of problem I'll be giving you, and we'll be discussing the solution for that. And currently, frankly speaking, Yogesh, there is a big requirement for the guys like you in the industry who have seen the complete industry for like 8, 10, 15 years. And they now, because for the senior roles, they want a guy who can take the decision, who can guide the team. So yes, you can surely switch to big data as an architect. Let me take a few more questions. Sanjeev is asking, how's the market for Hadoop administration? Sanjeev, the market for the Hadoop admin is really very good. It's really today comparable as to Hadoop developer only. Why? Because today everybody is setting up a Hadoop cluster. Their environment for Hadoop, their data center they are setting. So there is really very good requirement for the Hadoop admin also. Available for the training. Okay, Sanjeev is asking, I handle WebSphere, WebLogic IS and Apache hosted on Windows and Linux machine. Yeah, Sanjeev, then you should go for the Hadoop admin. It would be really a very good option for you, and your past experience will also be counted further, because you will be using similar Linux machines for your setup of Hadoop cluster, and you will be utilizing your own skills, your experience that you have learned from the past. Sabel is asking if we want to use Hadoop and machine learning. Yes, Sabel, you can. Means, by the way, there is one project that comes with Hadoop that is called Mahot. Mahot is for machine learning. So with Mahout you can write your own machine learning code, like your machine learning algorithm like naive Bayes algorithm and all such things. You can go for that, but initially I would recommend you first finish the Hadoop course. Then after 2 to 3 months, when you feel 100% comfortable in Hadoop, then go for machine learning. uh, Sable, I would say Mahout is much better as a machine learning, because it is part of Hadoop ecosystem, and all your algorithm, that's naive Bayes algorithm, your classification algorithms and number of different algorithms are developed in Java, and it will be utilizing the Hadoop cluster. So like you will be writing your own code, your algorithms, okay, you will be submitting that algorithm, and it will be running on the top of Hadoop. So just imagine it will be having the power of Hadoop, like say underlying 100 node cluster. So it will be using all those 100 nodes. Okay. Mohit is saying it is one of the best session I have attended ever. I have attended 10 sessions before this. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Sanjeev is saying, as we are talking about cluster, right? Do we get multiple virtual machine to set up Hadoop cluster for practical? Sanjeev, no, you just need to set up just a single machine on your Windows. So regarding your all your practicals, a virtual lab will be set up on your system. So for that you just need to create one virtual machine on your Windows. That virtual machine will be of Ubuntu. So for your all the learning, all your R&D, all your practice, you will be working on a single machine. But for the multiple node cluster, you will be using AWS cloud, Amazon cloud. So there we'll be launching a real cluster of 3 nodes and we'll be doing practice there. By the way guys, the implementation for the single node cluster will be as same as the multi-node cluster. The code that you run on a single node cluster will run as it is on the multi-node cluster also. So for usually for the R&D on learning purpose, even in the industry also, people are using a single node cluster. But in our session we'll be having we are going to set up a real multi-node cluster also on the cloud. Jayesh is asking, I know just basic of Java. Yeah, Jayesh, the basic of Java. Okay, will this be sufficient? Yeah, Jayesh, the basics of Java is more than sufficient. You means if you want, I'll be providing you the Java essential for Hadoop. So the training recording video that will be provided to you. Just you go through those videos. That would be more than sufficient to take the Hadoop course. Sabil Singh, thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Sabil. Mehak is saying, I'm from Linux background. Which course will you? Since you are from Linux background, I recommend you to go for the Hadoop admin course. So in the admin, you will be utilizing your Linux capabilities, Linux admin knowledge, your experience that you have done, you have learned so far, and you will be further increasing the same, and it would be really very much suitable for you. So guys, by the way, Hadoop admin course will be really very even Hadoop admin job role will itself will be very interesting and very challenging, because for you Linux admin you have just administered one node, a single setup, a setup that was on a single machine. Now you'll be now you'll be taking care for the cluster of machines that can be a 100 node cluster or 1000 node clusters, right? So parallelly your job will be running on all those machines, and you need to take care, you need to understand the configuration. You need, by the way, you will be responsible for the complete end-to-end deployment, management and monitoring as well as maintenance. Is it possible to run Hadoop on Windows without a Linux VM? Ajay, yes, recent version of Hadoop is giving the support, that is especially from the Hortonworks. They are supporting the Hadoop that can run on Windows, but it's really not recommended because Hadoop is not tested on Windows. So wherever you go for the production, in whichever org you will go after attending the training, wherever you switch for the Hadoop, they will be using Linux. Because when Hadoop was developed initially, it was developed for the keeping in mind for Linux, not for the Windows. So during our complete training, it's recommended also, during our complete training also we'll be using the Linux only. Sanjeev is saying, awesome, thanks for clarifying a lot of questions. I would definitely look forward to switch my career. Yes, thank you Sanjeev, thanks so much. Any other questions, guys? How to enroll for the course? You can enroll for the course in front of your screen. This email ID is there, info@nixustechnologies.com. You can drop a mail to them, or you can call on the mentioned number. Will the new version of Hadoop will be covered? Yeah, a good question. Yes, all the concepts of the latest version of Hadoop will also be covered. So we'll be covering all the concepts of the stable version of Hadoop, that's the Hadoop 1.x, as well as all the concepts of Hadoop 2.x, that's the latest version of Hadoop. That is Yarn, HDFS federation, name node availability, everything will be covered. So by the way, we will be setting up both the setup of Hadoop, that will install Hadoop 1 as well as Hadoop 2 also. What is the pay scale of Hadoop? By the way, how much experience you are having? Okay, so for a 2-year experience guy, if I say for the Java, the usual pay scale is around 4.5. As compared to that on Hadoop, it's approximately, I can't give the exact figure, but it's approximately 7.5 to 8, almost double. Because guys, Hadoop is really a very niche skill. There is very less talent currently available in the market. That's why people are hiring guys like anything. Means it's like if you are having the practical concept, anybody will surely will take you. It's depend on how much you can show them that, okay boss, I am having this much practical knowledge. Jay is asking, can we add the practical? Yeah, Jaya, surely you can add the project that we are going to cover. You can add that project in your profile. We'll be creating the project at that level only. By the way, this is a real life project that I myself has developed. Any other questions, guys? Okay. So guys, thank you so much. Thanks for attending the session. Hope to see you in the sessions soon. Um, so Okay, before ending, let me take one more question. Yogesh is asking, Cloudera certification is necessary. Yogesh, Cloudera certification is like a way that you can show that you are a certified person, you are a certified professional. It's surely not necessary, but Cloudera certification add value in your profile. So for a fresher or for a person who is having up to say 4 to 5 years of experience, I recommend for them to go for the Cloudera certification, because frankly speaking, industries are considering Cloudera certification as a good measure of your practical knowledge. Yes, ma'am, we'll be covering all the concepts that means you will be trained for the Cloudera certification. Our session will be more than sufficient for the same. Any other questions, guys? Okay. Alright guys, so for further questions you can contact on info@nixustechnologies.com, Our experts will be there to help you. So thank you guys. Thanks for spending time.